StadiumDB.com presents All Summer Olympic Stadiums. Hello! It's time to discover every main venue in which the Summer Olympic Games have ever been or will be held. The Olympic Games are the biggest international sports event. Their historical roots date back to 776 BC, when they were organized in the ancient Greek city of Olympia. No wonder Greece was the best place to stage the first modern Olympic Games, so without further ado, let's go and visit Athens 1896, Panathenaic Stadium, capacity 80,000, Greece. Originally built in the 6th century BC, it has remained the only stadium in the world to be constructed entirely out of marble. The venue disappeared for a while only to be excavated and restored just in time for the Games. Paris 1900, Vélodrome de Vincennes, capacity 4,000, France. It was the main venue of the Olympics without having staged the opening ceremony for the Games. The stadium did not only contest cycling but also rugby union, cricket, football and gymnastics. St. Louis 1904, Francis Olympic Field, capacity 19,000, USA. Initially, the venue was opened under the name of World Fairs Stadium for the upcoming World Exhibition. However, thanks to the IOC's swift decision, Francis Field was chosen as the main arena for the Games. London 1908, White City Stadium, capacity 68,000, United Kingdom. This venue was a symbol of an important milestone in the Olympic movement's history. The point in front of the Royal Box at White City Stadium was marked as the finish line of the first ever modern marathon, setting the track length at over 42 kilometers. Stockholm 1912, Stockholms Olympiastadion, capacity 22,000, Sweden. The city couldn't boast of a proper sports facility until Swedish beat success to host the Olympics. The arena opened just a month before the Games. It holds the proud status of the oldest operational Olympic stadium in the world. Antwerp 1920, Olympisch Stadion, capacity 30,000, Belgium. At the time it was truly a multifunctional arena, able to host most of the events during the Olympics thanks to its wide field and athletics track. Today's stadium bears little resemblance to its predecessor, mainly after the general modernization from the year 2000. Paris 1924, Stade olympique Yves-du-Manoir, capacity 45,000, France. The second time the French hosted the event, they decided to follow London's example and admit big crowds to see the Olympic Games. Later, its capacity was increased to 60,000. Amsterdam 1928, Olympisch Stadion, capacity 31,600, the Netherlands. One cannot find a better Olympic symbol in the Netherlands than this venue. The 1928 edition of the Games introduced several additions to the ceremonialism of the event, including the debut of igniting the Olympic cauldron, here located at the front of the stadium. Los Angeles 1932, Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, capacity 101,574, USA. Originally, this stadium was inaugurated as a memorial for LA veterans of World War I. Hosting the Games of 1932 meant a complete change of purpose for the venue by expanding the ball's structure and constructing the new iconic Olympic cauldron. Berlin 1936, Olympiastadion, capacity 110,000, Germany. The stadium was intended as the venue for the cancelled 1916 Olympics. The arena was rebuilt and modernized for the next Games 20 years later. It already had the monumental stands of today, which served to present the propagandized grandeur of the German state. London 1948, Wembley Stadium, capacity 82,000, United Kingdom. This legendary arena with the iconic Twin Towers had to wait 8 years to finally host the most important competitions of the Olympics. Through the event, the British capital got a chance to revive its economy after World War II. Helsinki, 1952. Helsingin Olympiastadion. Capacity 70,000. Finland. Built back in 1938, the venue has remained the biggest of its kind in the country. Its simple form is a tribute to the functionalism that underpinned the original design. Melbourne, 1956. Melbourne Cricket Ground. Capacity 104,000. Australia. To enable this stadium to stage the games, the Olympic stand was constructed along with the athletics track. The excitement around the MCG hosting the Olympics was so high that the queues to entrances effectively paralyzed the entire city for a night before the opening ceremony. Rome, 1960. Stadio Olympico. Capacity 90,000. Italy. The venue had to go through small adjustments for a better spectating experience, like installing 4 floodlighting towers and 2 electronic scoreboards. The stadium was also electrically self-sufficient, as its power plant could produce 370,000 watts. Tokyo, 1964. National Stadium. Capacity 71,328. Japan. Despite its impressive size, the stadium was built in just 14 months. It became the arena for the Asian Games before undergoing an expansion in 1964 to host the first Olympics ever awarded to Asia. We've covered a lot so far, haven't we? While there is a short intermission, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Also, click the bell so you don't miss future stadium content. Mexico City, 1968. Estadio Olympico Universitario. Capacity 83,700. Mexico. The stadium was erected on hard volcanic ground between 1950 and 1952 and also resembles a volcano in its form. To fulfill the obligations imposed on the host by the IOC, the arena had its capacity temporarily increased from 70,000 to over 80,000. Munich, 1972. Olympiastadion. Capacity 75,000. West Germany. What's interesting in the design of the stadium is sweeping canopies of acrylic glass stabilized by metal ropes. This arena was not only the main venue for the games, but also the memorial site for the Israeli athletes killed during a terrorist attack in the Olympic Village. Montreal, 1976. Stade Olympique. Capacity 73,000. Canada. The stadium stands out for its interesting architecture, partially because of its shape resembling the letter O, but also because of the tallest sloping tower in the world built into it. Moscow, 1980. Luzhniki Stadium. Capacity 103,000. USSR. The stadium was constructed in a record time of just 450 days, with its inauguration in July 1956. After its first repair, which concluded in 1979, the venue was ready to host the Olympic Games, boycotted, however, by 66 countries. Los Angeles, 1984. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Capacity 80,000. USA. To this day, no venue has ever held the Olympic Games twice other than LA Coliseum. Just before the second edition, an ornamental sculpture was also created in front of the Eastern Gate in honor of the athletes. Seoul, 1988. Jamsil Olympic Stadium. Capacity 100,000. South Korea. The stadium is the biggest sports venue in South Korea. The lines of the stadium's profile imitate the elegant curves of Korean Joseon Dynasty porcelain vase. Barcelona, 1992. Stade Olympique Louis Companys. Capacity 55,926. Spain. The original stadium had to be renovated ahead of the Games. The construction was demolished, preserving parts of the original facades. In 1989, the venue was re-inaugurated for the World Cup in athletics, ready to host the Olympic Games. Atlanta, 1996. Centennial Olympic Stadium. capacity 85,000, USA. The stadium was built with the 1996 Games in mind. However, its shape would already hint at its future use after the Games. Later, the arena was turned into a typical baseball facility. Sydney 2000, Stadium Australia, capacity 115,000, Australia. The stadium was the biggest Olympic venue at the time of the Games. Its dominant elements are the 295-meter-long roof spans stretching from north to south. Athens 2004, Stadio Olympico Spiros Louis, capacity 72,000, Greece. The venue, originally erected in 1982, underwent its most significant upgrade ahead of the Olympics when spectacular roofing was added to the existing stands. The arena was re-inaugurated just 2 weeks before the opening ceremony. Beijing 2008, Beijing National Stadium, capacity 91,000, China. The construction of the bird's nest required the use of the unthinkable 27,000 tons of steel. Although the exterior looks chaotic, it is made up of the 4 almost identical quadrants that form a completely independent structure from the stands. London 2012, Olympic Stadium, capacity 80,000, United Kingdom. The stadium was originally planned to be deprived of its upper stands after the Olympics, but instead the arena went through certain changes and became the new home for West Ham United. Rio de Janeiro 2016, Maracanã, capacity 74,738, Brazil. One of the world's most famous stadiums was reconstructed ahead of the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Not with little controversy, as the venue was completed with many delays for $500 million. Tokyo 2020, Japan National Stadium, capacity 68,000, Japan. The Olympic Games returned to Tokyo, but not to the old National Stadium, demolished to give way to the new arena. The dominant aesthetic element of the stadium is the wood used to cover the sloping eaves, inspired by the pagoda. Paris 2024, Stade de France, capacity 81,338, France. The French capital will host the Olympics for the 3rd time, tying the top spot with London. The stadium is equipped with movable lower parts of the stands, making it possible to serve as the athletics arena. Los Angeles 2028, Sophie Stadium, capacity 70,240, USA. The stadium was constructed with a cost of $5.5 billion, making it the world's most expensive arena. The athletics competition will take place at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, for which this will be the 3rd time it has ever hosted the Olympics. Brisbane 2032, The Gabba, capacity 50,000, Australia. And we're wrapping up our list with the venue which is still to be erected. Present plans for the stadium estimate the cost of the construction at $3 billion Australian dollars. A number so great that the new government of Queensland has decided to suspend the project for further evaluation. And there you have it, the complete list of all Olympic venues. Do you have your favorite? Or maybe you have special memories regarding the Games? Share your thoughts by writing a comment below. More material awaits you not only here, but also on our stadiumdb.com website and Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You'll find it all in the description. Take care!